Hello, Jason here. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while, a couple weeks since I posted a video. Mainly, I've just been trying to finish this book that I've been reading, and it's the book I'm going to talk about today. It is Insomnia by Stephen King. Yeah, I don't normally review Stephen King novels because I've been doing that the Stephen King reading project, where I'm reading all of his novels in publication order. And so when I do those update videos, I talk about each book in the time period that I'm discussing. So I don't normally focus on just one book at a time. And anyway, if you haven't watched those videos, I'll link the playlist up here and you can check those out. And it just so happens that this is the last one in part one of the 1990s, which I'm working on. I should be posting that video here in the next few days. So stay tuned for that. And if you want, to get notified or whatever, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel and be on the lookout for the next video. So I don't really want to review this in like a traditional sense. What I want to talk about with this book that got me thinking is just the Dark Tower. I want to talk about the Dark Tower because I really liked this book. I know a lot of people don't really like it. A lot of people say that it's slow. A lot of people say that it's really weird and that there's a lot of stuff in it that they don't understand. I think that those people probably haven't read the Dark Tower. This is just my assumption, because that's kind of what I'm getting at here with this. If you've read The Dark Tower, I highly recommend that you read this. If you've read the whole series, you should read this, because it really does explain a few things about certain characters. I don't want to go too much into it. I don't want to get too spoilery, but there's a couple of characters in this book that are kind of main pivotal parts of this plot, the plot of this book, that are main-ish characters, or at least central to the plot of the Dark Tower as well. So really interesting seeing those characters in this book, and then also, if you've already read the Dark Tower, then getting that kind of like origin-y type story from a couple characters and stuff, like a little bit more context around the events of the Dark Tower as well. And yeah, so this book is of all, like a lot of Stephen King's books kind of connect. There's this multiverse thing going on where a lot of his books connect to the Dark Tower and to each other and whatever. This one in particular, though, I think is the most direct connection that I've read so far, out of all of the books that I've read. Like a lot of them, like I said, a lot of them connect in like little ways, or some of them more directly, but this one is like it's like a Dark Tower novel, pretty much. Not really. It's its own story, and you could read this without reading the Dark Tower. I just think that you wouldn't get it. There'd be weirdness, and there'd be a lot of stuff. A lot of the payoff in this book comes from knowing about the Dark Tower, or at least the connections that are made and the wider context there. So my recommendation is, if you haven't read the Dark Tower, you probably shouldn't read this book until you have. Now that's also weird, because this book came out in 1994, and the Dark Tower 7, 5, 6, and 7, all three of those books, I don't think they came out until like 2006. So for people who are reading this when it came out, I'm sure it was very weird. There's a lot of stuff, there's characters in this book that appear in the Dark Tower 6 and 7 that aren't even in the series yet at the time of this, when this book came out. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like if I had been reading this, if I had been a Stephen King fan in the 90s, and I had read this when it came out, I probably would have been like, huh? What's this? This is weird. This is a very strange book. So yeah, that's kind of strange too. I almost think, so if you're going to read them in order, like I'm doing, if you haven't read The Dark Tower, I would maybe skip this one until after you have read The Dark Tower. Otherwise, like I said, it's just gonna not. It's some of it might fall a little flat, and you might think, well, this is weird. Like, why did he include all this other stuff that I don't understand? Yeah, and the other part that makes it's a little weird is he obviously knew how The Dark Tower was gonna end. He had the idea in mind when he wrote this novel, because a lot of the stuff that happens in this novel is talking about events and things and people that are in the later Dark Tower novels. So he must have known at least some of the stuff that happens in the Dark Tower novels when he was writing this. But that's also strange because some of the stuff, without getting into spoilers, some of the stuff that happens in the Dark Tower novels he couldn't possibly have known he couldn't possibly have known. And if you've read the Dark Tower, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. So I don't know. It's very strange. It's very strange. This book is really, really weird, and it's kind of got me thinking a lot about the Dark Tower and the wider King universe. And I know I've been doing my series about the Stephen King Reading Project stuff, and I'm going to continue to do that because I'm going to just keep reading his books. But what I want to do is I want to start another series talking about just specifically Dark Tower books, and then maybe even talking about like the secondary books like The Stand and Salem's Lot and like this book and you know, all the tie-in kind of novels. And so I'm thinking about getting that up and running. So be on the lookout for that if you're interested in the Dark Tower and you want more discussion and things like that. That's coming down the road. So I'll start with, you know, Dark Tower 1, The Gunslinger, and that's where we'll start, and then we'll kind of just go from there. So yeah, anyway, that's all I really had to say about this book. Like I said, it's not a traditional sort of review. I'm not going to tell you what this book is about, but as far as recommendations go, if you've read The Dark Tower, I highly recommend it. If you haven't read The Dark Tower, go read The Dark Tower and then come back. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Like and subscribe if you want to, you know, see more stuff, or if you're interested in the video series that I've been talking about. And you know, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming and checking it out, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.